Evolution of labor welfare. So in this session, we will go through labor welfare movements in India. We will explain what are the different labor welfare movements which existed from pre-independent India to when India attained independence. So we will see what is that labor welfare movement which helped set up all the other laws and regulations in India. We will also see what are 5-year plans. We will see approaches to the philosophy of labor welfare. We will see the types of welfare activities. We will see labor laws for women. So first we'll take a look at what are the labor welfare movements in India. So labor welfare movements in India. So the welfare movement started at the factories of pre-independent India. Their continued efforts to the Factory Commission in 1875 saw light by the passing of Factories Act of 1948. So the movement to improve welfare of workers started at the factories of pre-independent India during the year 1881. Years later, the advent of and the establishment of International Labour Organization in 1919 also acted as an impact to the labor welfare movement in India. So basically, Philadelphia Convention was there, as well as establishment of ILO in 1919 provided the impetus for this movement. Initial welfare activities started in India in factories or establishments where organized work was performed during years 1881. The deplorable during those days in 1875 prompted Factory Commission for passing laws and legislation, notably the Factories Act 1948. In the same year, the legislations were enacted and made into law, made applicable to factories using power or electric power and employing more than 100 people, prohibiting children in the age group 7, 8, 12, and were not allowed to work for more than 9 hours a day. In May 1944, the Charter of Labor, or popularly Philadelphia Convention, was adopted by the member states of International Labour Organization. Philadelphia Convention mentioned that labor was not a commodity that could be sold and brought in markets, but was essentially a significant part in the program of economic development and social reconstruction, which existed in the beginning of the 20th century. So after independence of India, the states strived to perform welfare of people by securing and protecting social orders in which justice, social, economic, and political elements stood out and started informing institutions of national life. Next is 5-year plans. So in this section, we'll see the 5-year plans which were developed by Planning Commission from its inception in the year 1951. It was also implemented under the socialist influence of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. So we'll also see what was envisioned in the first 5-year plan, what was done in the second 5-year plan, third 5-year plan, fourth 5-year plan, and fifth 5-year plan. We will just briefly see what all things were done in those 5-year plans. So 5-year plans were developed by the Planning Commission during years from its inception in 1951 until 2014, and thereafter Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India, from 2015 till present day. It was implemented under the socialist influence of India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, and was based on Harrod-Dormer model, where economic growth was explained based on level of savings and of capital. The first 5-year plan, which was in 1951 till 56. So what was envisioned in the first 5-year plan? So the first 5-year plan in the year 1951 to 56 paid considerable attention to welfare of the people. Welfare activities were promoted, developed welfare activities, and wherever possible, industrial disputes were avoided as part of the development of the 5-year plans. During this period, a lot of legislation making initiatives were taken up, notably Plantation Labor Act of 1951, Mines Act of 1952, Employee Provident Fund Act of 1952, and many subsidized housing loan schemes were proposed. So this was done in the first 5-year plan. Now what was done in the second 5-year plan? The second 5-year plan was from 1957 to 1962 in India, undertook comprehensive survey of welfare activities and helped future assessment and formulation of the industrial policies. So in this second 5-year plan, comprehensive survey of welfare activities were done and helped future assessments and formulation of industrial policies. So industrial policies were important in the second 5-year plan. What about third 5-year plan? In third 5-year plan, the propositions suggested in earlier plans were enacted for protection, safety and well-being of the workers, which was third 5-year plan. These are all brief explanations of 5-year plans. In fourth 5-year plan, what was done? It was generally decided that welfare within establishments acted as perks for work efficiency. And in fifth 5-year plan, it laid down programs for labor welfare activities, including craftsman training and employment service. Next, we'll take a look at the approaches to the philosophy of labor welfare. There are 7 welfare theories. We'll briefly go through each of those welfare theories. So there are chiefly 7 welfare theories that go on explaining the approaches taken in unraveling the philosophies behind labor welfare. So the first theory is religious theory. So according to religious theory, human beings subscribe to religious sentiments and beliefs. Employers take up welfare activities in expectation of future benefits in life and the future in life. In atonement of sin or make good sin, employers promote welfare activities. The next theory is philanthropic theory. So this was based on works of Robert Owen, Mahatma Gandhi, Lokhande, B.P. Wadia. Philanthropic theory furthers love for mankind and prompts people to work for the welfare of people. So that is philanthropic theory. Next one is trusteeship theory. Here, trust holds employers and workers and welfare activities naturally extend to the workers. So there is always trust between employers and workers, and the welfare activities are a natural extension to the workers. This is according to the trusteeship theory. Another viewpoint is workers are like minors, so that welfare for them needs to be taken care of by the employers. So that is also one aspect of trusteeship theory. Next is public relations theory. So in public relations theory, labor welfare activities exist to create goodwill between workers and between management and public. Following the public relations theory, it is generally felt that the publicity of welfare programs are increased. So that is public relations theory. Next is functional theory or efficiency theory. Here, welfare activities secure and preserve efficiency and productivity of workers. When employee productivity increases, earning of the organization increases. So that is functional theory or efficiency theory. Next is policing theory. Here, state, which is state as in state country, or state actually steps in to stop selfish employers and thereby stopping exploitation of workers. So policing theory, what does it do? It helps lawmaking in the subject of labor welfare and supervises to make sure welfare measures are provided. Punishment is extended to employers who do not provide welfare. So that is policing theory. And finally, it is placating theory. Here, workers are conscious of their rights and privileges in placating theory. Their demands cannot be ignored. So in order to win cooperation, workers have to be appeased. Now let us see what are the types of welfare activities. So types of welfare activities. There are two types of welfare activities, namely intramural and extramural. So intramural are welfare activities that are within establishments, so much so that providing latrines, urinals, bathing, creche, canteen facilities for the prevention of fatigue, health services and organizational safety fall into this category. What is extramural activities? Extramural activities are welfare activities that are outside establishments and include conducting sports or cultural activities, library, reading rooms, providing leave travel facilities, etc. So those are the types of welfare activities. Next is labor laws for women. So the following labor laws exist in India, and the major labor laws for women are Maternity Benefits Act of 1961, Equal Remuneration Act of 1976, Occupational Hazards Act, and Factory Amendments Act of 1948. So we'll see what each of them are. So in Maternity Benefits Act, the Act states that no employer employs woman in an establishment during 6 weeks immediately following day of her delivery or miscarriage. It is actually applicable to factory, circus, industry, and also plantations. The maternity benefit period, according to this Act, is 12 weeks to 26 weeks for eligible women. So that is the Maternity Benefits Act of 1961. Equal Remuneration Act of 1976 is monitored by Ministry of Labour and Central Advisory Committee. Now next is Occupational Hazards Act. So the reference case based on occupational hazards concerning safety of women at workplace was done in 1997. Also, the sexual harassment of women, working women, amounts to violation of rights and gender equality in workplace like factories and establishments. This is according to the Occupational Hazards Act. Lastly, it's Factory Amendments Act of 1948. The major highlights of the Factory Amendment Act is a prohibition of women from being employed in cleaning, lubricating or adjusting certain machineries. Women are prohibited from working in these roles where they have to perform cleaning, lubricating or adjusting certain machinery. They are not supposed to do that according to this act. Woman is also prohibited in working where cotton opener is employed. Suitable sanitation facility has to be provided to women who works in factories or establishments. If more than 30 women are employed, creche needed to be provided free of cost to those women. Facilities have to be provided for women to wash clothes, changing clothes, and for child feeding facilities. Woman is also prohibited to work between hours 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. Period of absence on maternity leave are included in calculating periods of services in the factory or establishment. So this concludes labor laws for women, as well as we have covered the basics in evolution of labor welfare in India. Thank you.